In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the XTool D1 Pro 20 watt output laser. This is a diode laser that was very kindly sent to me by MakeBlock and XTool to do a video review on. This is the unboxing. Certainly is a big box, very nicely packaged and very nice components. I love the way it's presented. Very professional, with all the green boxes inside and the instructions and everything. Very well done. There was a few components to unbox, including this hefty laser unit, and that's the rotary attachment that came with it. Lovely little box full of all the screws and tools you need. And assembly was very straightforward. The instructions are excellent and it all went together very nicely. All locks in beautifully, all nicely square. It forms a very rigid, quite hefty frame, which is a good thing because the laser unit has certainly got some weight to it. As I say, all went together very well. Very nice quality hex drive screwdriver with it. I really like the way it's designed. All custom built parts, nice and strong, metal rollers, metal runners, so it's built to last. Here I'm fixing the X-axis gantry. Once again, all screwed together very well. Then there's a bit of connection of wires to do and cable management. And this is the nozzle that fits over the laser for the air assist. It's easier if you actually remove this from the laser to attach the air assist. And that just reattaches with a little Allen screw or hex screw. Connecting the cable. And then this laser unit can be fitted to the gantry. Use a little bit of the supplied silicone grease. It does help with the focusing if you put a little bit of grease on this. These are leg extensions. You get a set of 8, so you've got choice of 3 different heights that way. This is important if you're engraving on thicker materials or if you've got the rotary attachment in place. This is the air assist pump, which XTool sent me to go with the laser. I would strongly recommend an air assist unit with these powerful lasers. It is a big help. The air assist pump was very nice, very quiet. It's got these sort of rubber feet on it, soft rubber feet, which dampen it and stop it walking across the worktop. Very easy to connect up. Get all the connectors with it. Just a case of routing the tubing along with the cable. Then we're ready to do our first burn. So check the framing. The limit switches will stop you positioning things too near the edge of the build area. Wear your safety glasses, very important. And this is my first test burn. Doing a bit of guesswork as to the settings, just to work out really how it performs and what settings I'm going to need for future projects. Just speeded it up a little bit here. It's a very fast laser. The extra power means that you can run it very fast. Whenever you get a new laser or you're about to engrave or cut some new material, it's well worth doing some test burns, test engravings, test cuts, just to see what the optimum settings are. Here I'm just test burning one of my logos, and I framed it very badly, so I restarted it. But it came out very well. You can see it's just going off the edge of the ply. Anyway, did it again. Sped up the footage a little bit here, obviously. But it came out very, very nicely. Spot on. Nice crisp deep burn. But then it's a case of doing some more test burns. These are sort of outline engravings of my logo. I'm trying to work out the optimum settings for achieving a nice sharp, well-defined line. The speeds that you can see here are in millimeters per second. So it gives you an idea just how fast you can engrave with this. We're very, very pleased with the outcome. You can see at about 70 or 60 millimeters per second you're getting a nice clean burn. This is the test dice that I use to test lasers. It's a simple box really, with some holes cut in the side to create the numbers, but it came out perfectly. Absolutely spot on. Trying some slate now, you can just see the little focusing arm there that flicks down. You then position it down onto the workpiece and then lift it up. It's like a little kickstand, but that gives you the focus height. That came out very well, although this bit of footage doesn't show it very well. This is the XTool Creative Space software, which I'm just using to create these little supports for the feet, because I've now installed the D1 Pro into my laser housing, and I've cut out these little shapes which the legs of the laser slot into, and I can screw that to the base in the laser housing. It just stops any movement on the laser. As I say, the laser head is quite hefty, so you don't want any movement as it's moving about quite fast. So if you can stabilise it in any way, that's always good. So as I say, screwing it to the base, it simply lifts out of these feet. Back into lightburn. Just one of my logo discs, and this is a piece of leather, veg tan leather, which I'm just refocusing on using the little kickstand focus arm thing. And here it is, doing the engraving and cutting it out as well. A bit of overburn here. A lot of that's smoke, and it does wipe off in actual fact with a damp cloth. So I'm trying different settings. I did this several times because I've got a couple of leather projects to do. Third time looked about right. Now it's on to unboxing the RA2 Rotary attachment. Once again, very nicely packaged. You see you get this little rotary chuck and different jaws to go on it. Tailstock supports, and there's the rotary unit with rollers. Cables that you need. Multiple ways of setting this up. Absolutely brilliant. Really liked the design of this. I made life awkward for myself with these very awkward shaped glasses. Here I'm attaching the chuck and removing the rollers because I want to be able to hold the glass. It's the wrong shape to use rollers, so I'm using the chuck. I try different jaws, different combinations to work out the best way. And in fact, I think I took the jaws off and just expanded the jaw holders into the inside of the glass to hold it in the end. It's very, very clever. It's got a little spirit level. You can also use these little rods, which you can position in different ways. They will also hold the glass, and you can hold things as small as little rings and things like that to engrave using these. Got a little chuck key there. So I could have done it like this as well. That worked. In the end, I made some custom jaws, as you'll see. But there it is, just held between the jaw holders. And I've brought up this little rotary tailstock just to hold it in place. Tape measure came with the kit, just to measure the circumference, or you could do diameter times pi. But you'll need this measurement when using lightburn. I've put the leg risers on here to raise it up so it can fit the RA2 under the laser. It's all in my laser housing, which is much better for safety. I've put painter's tape on the glass because I'm just going to do a little test burn, not at full power. Just getting the level right. So I slide some plywood underneath just to make sure that's level. Otherwise you'll lose focus on the laser. But as I say, the first burn I did at a lower power setting just to make sure it was all orientated properly. It's very easy with rotary attachments to find you've engraved it reversed or something like that. Got my safety glasses on, very important. Just making sure that we've set it all up correctly. This is the proper job. I've sprayed the glass with black primer paint so that the laser beam's got something to hit on. If you just have plain glass, the beam will go straight through and won't etch it. It looks very cool as it's etching away the paint. But this came out brilliantly. Really pleased with this. There it is. You just need to clean off that paint using some solvent. Really delighted with how that came out. These are some custom jaws I designed in Shaper 3D. And these I designed especially to fit these odd shaped glasses. There they are, printed out in TPU, which is a flexible filament, sort of rubber like. And there they are on the RA2, just expanding the jaws into the top of the glass. And that worked really, really well. It was worth designing and printing these jaws because I've got several of these glasses to do. This is my homemade laser enclosure out in my workshop with the ducting for smoke extraction. That goes to a bathroom extractor fan and that pumps all the smoke outside. And there's the air assist pump to the side with the tubing feeding into the side of the enclosure. And here I'm just cutting out some plywood to make a jig for wet moulding some leather. You can see the smoke escaping out from under the workpiece there. Well, here's the jig. Lasers are great for cutting out jigs for little jobs. There it is, all set up. So what I do is I soak the leather and then clamp it in this jig, and it wet forms over these eyeballs, these plastic eyeballs. Here's the other part of the keyring, all cut out on the D1 Pro. That smokiness on the surface just wipes off with a damp cloth. And there it is, wet moulded eyelids. And they're dried now and ready for assembly. And you can even cut out the leather for wet moulding on the laser. And there's a finished article after a bit of saddle stitching. Logo on the back. I also made some key rings for a friend using grayscale picture engraving onto the leather. And these came out incredibly well. The detail's amazing. Well, I've spent many hours now with the XTool D1 Pro, and I've got to thanks MakeBlock and XTool for sending that to me. Really good bit of kit, very, very impressed. Clearly built more towards the enthusiast hobbyist or someone who wants to use it for business purposes. Certainly built to last. The metal runners, metal rollers are going to last a long time. They're not going to wear out as quickly as rubber wheels, and it's very sturdily built. The extra power is fantastic. 20 watt output is amazing. The reason I like extra power is because you can't really leave these machines unattended because of fire risk. So more power means more speed, so it's less wasted time hanging around. I've cut and engraved all sorts of materials with it now, from plywood to leather, slate, glass, and it's performed fantastically. It connects very well to my MacBook and lightburn, which is fantastic. I have used the XTool software as well, which has been very good, but I'm used to lightburn, so I mainly use lightburn, and it is all fully compatible, so really good. The air assist, fantastic, really good, worked very, very well. There's my test dice or die, and perfect, absolutely spot on, all slotted together perfectly. It's one of my leather eyeball key rings. I have done a separate video several years ago showing how I make these, but this was all done laser cut this time, which made it a lot faster and a lot neater. Jimson stuffed tumbler engraved, brilliant. And that brings me on very nicely to the RA2 Rotary attachment, which is amazing. So many different combinations in the ways you can set that up to accommodate all sorts of different cylindrical or spherical projects, right from little rings right up to tumblers, goblets, anything like that. Really, really good bit of kit. So in this video I was unboxing, setting up and using the XTool D1 Pro. I've got a follow-up video coming up shortly where I'm actually using it to make a project. I've got a build project coming up, so stay tuned for that one. I'll be back soon with some more videos. Many thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I've got lots more projects in the pipeline, so I'll see you all soon.
More rubbish coming soon.